Hey, what's up, guys? This is Colin Reese. Aaron Long has recently been one of the starting center backs for the U.S. men's national team, and he's become somewhat of a new scapegoat for U.S. men's national team Twitter, or at least a segment of U.S. men's national team Twitter that I call U.S. men's national team Cyberbully troll Twitter. And I think the reason behind all the criticism and the harassment and the mockery of Aaron Long is because a lot of fans perceive Aaron Long as taking the spot of John Brooks on the roster and in the starting lineup. And since these fans feel that John Brooks should be the starter, or at least get Aaron Long's roster spot, that they're just going to keep making up new reasons to criticize Aaron Long no matter how well he plays. And they're just going to keep moving the goalpost. So it really doesn't matter what he does. They'll just move the goalpost and make up another reason why he shouldn't be starting. And I think this is similar to a lot of the criticism of MLS players that occurs with this segment of the fan base. And I think actually what's behind it is it's not all of the people, but it's most of them. They essentially don't watch much European soccer or any MLS, but they know that European soccer is a much higher quality. So when they see the U.S. men's national team playing, their complaint, like whenever the team's playing poorly, their solution to improving the play is just to sub out or get rid of any of the MLS players. And I think since they don't really watch soccer, whether European or MLS, they don't have the ability to analyze the player's actual play. And so they don't really understand what they're watching. They just think that the play should be better. So they think anyone that's playing in Europe is automatically going to be better than an MLS player. And the reality is we don't really have any MLS players on the U.S. men's national team that are of a low level, like on a technical standpoint or on an athletic standpoint. They're all, above average players, and they're usually really good players in MLS. And so with Aaron Long particularly, Aaron Long's a really fast and mobile center back. And in the past, the U.S. hasn't really had this, except with a few exceptions. We had Eddie Pope and someone like Jay DeMerit and Jeff Cameron. And Eddie Pope was better than Jay DeMerit, but Jay DeMerit was really athletic and also had a really pretty high technical ability. Not quite as good as Eddie Pope, but still he really stood out along with Jeff Cameron compared to people we had in the past. And when the U.S. was in the 2014 World Cup, we had Matt Besler and Omar Gonzalez. Now, Matt Besler actually was pretty fast, and he was known for his speed, but he wasn't quite as mobile and agile, and he didn't have the same horizontal quickness as Aaron Long. And Aaron Long's just a really athletic, mobile center back. He's hard to beat 1v1. If you get past him, he can catch up to you, and he's a really excellent ball winner. And his level of technical ability is quite good. He's good passing with both feet. He doesn't just, kick it downfield to nobody or clear everything out of bounds. He will clear it if he has to, but his passing ability is good. And it's actually been the fans, this certain segment of U.S. men's national team Twitter has been falsely accusing him of not being able to pass. And why I talked about moving the goalpost is because first they were saying, he wasn't that good with his feet. And then he ended up being pretty good with his feet, and they should have known that before. But now really recently, after the last 2 games, they're complaining that he doesn't play enough long passes. So this is really moving the goalpost, because first it was, you can't pass, and now it's like, oh, well, you can pass, but you can't pass as well as Leonardo Bonucci or Andrea Pirlo, so, you shouldn't be in the starting lineup. When really the important thing about Long and why he's in the starting lineup is he combines good technical ability with really great athleticism and ball winning ability. And that's why he's in there. And this kind of reminds me of something Thiago Silva said. When Thiago Silva first signed with Chelsea, he said that the reason that he never played in the Premier League in the past was because there was too many long balls and lots of balls played in the air. And he liked to, like any Brazilian or elite soccer player, play quicker passes on the ground. And that's really the hallmark of really elite soccer, is quick 1 to 2 touch passing on the ground. And so Aaron Long can't pass, obviously, like Thiago Silva, but he doesn't have any problem with short passes and combining with his teammates and using both feet. But now the section of the fan base is going to say, oh, well, that's still not good enough. We need him to be, essentially playing assist from the center back position. And this is just another example of just how obnoxious this segment of US men's national team cyberbully troll Twitter is. It's just really never good enough. And if you're in MLS, it doesn't matter if you're good or you can compete at the international level. They're still going to blame you for the results, or blame you for the team not playing better, even if the problem's a tactical problem and a formation problem, which is the problem right now for the national team. We're not using a playmaker, and there's no link between the midfield and the attack. So we're not creating a lot of goal scoring chances, and our strikers aren't scoring because nobody's feeding them final balls. And instead of really focusing on this, people are just going to hone in on whichever MLS player happens to be in the lineup. And the reason they're not all over Walker Zimmerman is, well, one reason is Chris Richards is injured. And so if Walker Zimmerman were playing and Chris Richards were injured, they would say that neither Walker Zimmerman or Aaron Long should be playing, because Chris Richards and John Brooks should be the starters. But since Chris Richards is injured, then he can't play anyway right now. So they can't really criticize Walker Zimmerman for playing because he's played too well, and there's not even the option of putting in Chris Richards because he's still injured. But I believe if Chris Richards were healthy, then people would be piling on Walker Zimmerman as well. And he actually was getting a lot of criticism before the Morocco game. And they said the same thing they said about Aaron Long. They said that he couldn't pass well out of the back. And then once he started playing really nice long balls into our forwards, then people couldn't say that anymore. And Aaron Long actually had a really good one to Haji Wright, but I guess it wasn't enough to shut up these people on Twitter. So I believe that's what's going on with Aaron Long. It's just the constant moving of the goalpost because people want John Brooks on the roster and in the lineup. And in reality, Aaron Long's a pretty complete center back that doesn't pass quite as well as someone like Leonardo Bonucci. But again, he's an excellent ball winner, and he's really fast, and he's got a good level of technical ability. So he's more than good enough to be starting for our team. And the criticism